The RobertsTechJobs.com Indy Speedway League is on the air. RobertsTechJobs.com, your Midwest leader in temp to hire and contract positions in the IT field for IT professionals, proudly brings to you the Throwback 195 from the Milwaukee Mile. This broadcast also being brought to you by TDA Motorsports. TDA Motorsports, proudly sponsored by the Disabled American Veterans Association, DAV, and all-volunteer fleet of non-critical medical transport for America's veterans. On more information on how you can get involved, go to dav.org. This broadcast also being brought to you by David Llewellyn and the DHL Express. Mr. Hoot Baker. Robert Lacavaro and Convergent Composites. With promotional consideration paid for by Motorsports Graphic Designs. Motorsports Graphic Designs, for all your in-sim graphical needs, you got something going through your mind, you want to see it on your race car? Motorsports Graphic Designs. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight. Miss Layla Wilson joining me.
Howdy. I
believe it's Jason Coburn over in race control. Yes, it is. So he'll
waving?
He's one finger he's waving.
Out at him.
Yeah, he's waving one finger. But
I don't think that's a finger, Tony.
Ew. I think I just threw up a little. But the Throwback 195 live from the Milwaukee Mile. A lot of teams running throwback paint schemes tonight. A lot of those throwback paint schemes were done by Motorsports Graphic Designs. I believe.
Fantastic looking field.
Absolutely. I'm seeing some cars that are bringing back memories from when I was growing up as a fan
Did
of.
They have cars back then?
No, they didn't. we had a wheel and a stick and yeah.
Tacoma, Washington.
Speaking of those who are a year older, since I'm probably not going to run into you tomorrow, if I can say it now, happy birthday.
Thank you. I am now very old.
Yeah, very old. You're still 10 years younger than me, you brat.
Don't worry, I'll catch up someday, and that's what you gotta watch out for.
No, that's what you gotta watch out for, because I won't be watching anymore.
My father always told me, kid, don't never get old. Trying not to, but continually failing.
Yeah, true story. I know that feeling, but qualifying getting ready to get underway here from the Milwaukee Mile. 195 laps going to be the scheduled distance of tonight's event, as we're going to bring the standings up as I'm seeing cars starting to make their way out onto the speedway as we speak.
The quickest time we saw in practice was a 21.9 flat out of David Llewellyn. I would expect these times to be a little higher just by virtue of us not having the draft to work with.
True story, and the biggest concern that everybody seems to be having is how we're going to be pitting tonight, as the times are starting to trickle in now. So
what's going on with the pitting situation?
You have to call your pit before you get to turn 3 and just pit it off of 4.
That seems fair. It's a very narrow apron here, and for those of you who haven't run this track before, maybe you run a lot of the NASCAR tracks, there is no apron, as a matter of fact, all through 3 and 4. It's just grass, and you make your commitment on the straightaway. It's a really tight margin. There's very little room for error. When you get on the brakes, it's very easy to spin the car here. Whether you're driving an Indy car or a sprint car or anything else, it's very, very narrow. I cannot stress that enough.
Well, my personal favorite is the fact that you have to stay below the yellow line until you get to turn 2, and then you have about a car length before you run into grass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this track is a great track for racing, absolutely fantastic. However, the pit entry and exit are a little antiquated, and that's just kind of something we have to deal with. This is the scam we have. I don't know if the track's been changed since then.
It has not.
Well, they had the night lighting, so there's that, and
yeah.
they could have scanned the road course. That would have been cool.
Would have, could have, should have, didn't.
Yeah.
They could have done the same thing to Thompson Speedway, but they didn't, and I'm still upset about that.
Well, on the plus side, we're going to get that wonderful new Charlotte road course. Woohoo!
Allow me to use a phrase that I've used numerous times in the past in other broadcasts. I would rather slam certain parts of my anatomy in a broken sliding glass door while having the glass shards from said door shoved up my rectum while dipped in salt, lard, and rubbing alcohol.
I was going to go with having a root canal performed on the genitals with rusty dental equipment, which is also on fire, but I think he edged me out there. My main concern with that layout is the chicane on the front straightaway.
True story.
Like the rest, if you watch the old IMSA races, they had the prototype cars there, and they had a chicane on the backstretch. That's fine when you start adding them in places they don't need to be, and I guarantee you that's because of that rough entry in turn 1.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes a problem. Meanwhile, back on topic.
So about a minute left in qualifying. Gary Front Row Bauer, not a real shocker here, cranking off a 21.85. His teammate Mike the Iceman Erder going 21.9 flat. Isaiah Dupree 21.907, and Mike Whitaker going 21.968. I'm looking right now. The top 6 are all 21.9 in the 21.9s.
That's a little embarrassing because I was like, oh, there's no way they're going to be running 21.9s in qualifying.
And Gary Bauer cranks off a 21.8. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will eat my hat on that one.
So we're getting ready here. About 30 seconds left before we turn it over to the pre-race drivers meeting.
So that is 19 cars taking time.
Yes, it is. Bauer, Erder, Dupree, Whitaker, Osmer, Graff, Vickery, Parkman, Dean, and Anderson, your top 10, as we're going to turn things over now to league owner Alex Green as he gives the pre-race instructions.
Even.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody for being here. 27 cars tonight. Pretty good to see everybody here. Throwback week. Been seeing a lot of really cool paint schemes. Thank you guys for your participation in that. This is pretty different than how we ran Michigan last week. This is a mile track. The big thing I'm going to stress with everybody tonight is patience. Terry had a post up earlier that pretty much summed up my exact feelings with this. It's a long race. Be extra careful of your moves before you make it. There's no need to dive bomb anybody on lap 1. Let's just treat each other with respect. Try to keep it out of the wall. Because the one thing about this track, when one of us wrecks, there's a pretty good chance we're all going to wreck. So let's be smart. Let's be safe. Be careful on pit road. Definitely careful on pit road. Call on the backstretch. People just kind of pay attention who's calling and give them some room on the inside. There's no lane there. So let's just try to be smart and safe through that. Strength of field for tonight's race is 15.06, and that's counting 29 cars, so that's our announcer, commentators, and race control. Big thing I wanted to stress comes from Whitaker, definitely brought it up. Don't tell race control what to do here. Let them, they're in the position for a reason. Let them make the call. Shut up till we're pacing. Oh, and there's T-shirts if you want to buy a T-shirt. Other than that, good luck, have fun.
Can I get clarification on the pitting thing again, if you don't mind?
Backstretch is when you call it, and you can only pit off 4. Just try to give people room if you see them having the pit, because, you know, it's right there on the bottom.
Can we make it so you have to be in that dark patch in 3 and 4 if you're pitting?
I would say no, because that's the line some of the people up front run.
I'll give you the link.
I'd rather not have to go out of my line if we're going to put off 4. That wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, just call it out, and those people will stay to the left on the exit, and then the people that don't stay to the right. Alright, I see a lot of wrecks happen then.
Yep. I actually have to agree with Forrest on this one because not something this league normally does, and I see this ending poorly. I mean, I love this track. I love driving on this track.
Oh yeah, this is probably one of my favorite tracks. Definitely my favorite thing over a half a mile.
Absolutely. So real quick, I would like to remind everybody before we get going here that you are watching a presentation of the RobertsTechJobs.com Indy Speedway League. RobertsTechJobs.com, of course, is your Midwest leader in temp to hire and contract positions in the IT field for IT professionals. So if you are an IT professional in the Midwest, or if you're looking to relocate, go to RobertsTechJobs.com. Be sure to let Bill know that the ISL sent you. So just about a minute and a half left before we start to grid up as 19, again, like Layla mentioned earlier, 19 cars taking time as what in the blue hell is going on here.
I was so tempted to join them too. I love this track, but not today.
I understand why, because if I read the post correctly, they're celebrating your birthday in the Roadkill Racing League tonight.
Correct.
And
so I'm like, yeah, I should probably be there for my own birthday.
Figure 8 Milwaukee
Yep.
Mile. We can always run Milwaukee Mile at a later time.
Now, if they make a figure 8 Milwaukee Mile, I mean, then I'm really sad.
How the hell would you
I have a feeling this might go about like if it was on a figure 8 race tonight. If these drivers
yeah.
don't show patience.
True story. So front row is going to be an all Booze Brothers front row with Gary Bauer and Mike Erder. Row 2 is going to go to Isaiah Dupree and Mike Whitaker. Ronnie Osmer and Tyler Graff make up row number 3. Tyler Graff, of course, is your defending series champion in the IR05s. Tyler Vickery and Chris Parkman are going to be row number 4. Row 5 is Nate Dean, Tristan Anderson. Row 6 is going to go to Johnny Antonucci, David Llewellyn and Johnny Antonucci, with Forrest Sparks and Cody Eldred making up row number 7. Row 8 is going to go to Bob Lacavara and Alex Green, with row 9 going to Hoot Baker and Tony Rice, with Kevin Paskowicz being the last car to take time in 19th position. So Ron McManus, Bill Roberts, Brendan Graham, Mick Woods, Drew Giancarli, and Chris Bouchard not taking time.
So I'd imagine they're gridded by iRating, perhaps, or I don't know how it handles it in hosted sessions.
From the looks of it, it's going back to practice speeds and times and all that other happy. So
nice. Okay, that makes sense. That's actually a pretty good system.
Yes.
So I had a question about the league. Were you guys considering heat races next season when that comes out?
No, only because it's not something that the full-size Indy cars do.
I was mostly curious about it for how it could work into qualifying for the races and stuff, and making sure which drivers are safe, rather, etc. But I think it works fine as is. I was just curious.
It was hard enough to do it for the Elite Invitational, but I'm not certain how we would go about doing it for here. I'm looking through the field right now. I'm seeing a lot of Penske throwback cars. I see a couple of STP cars. I see quite a few Lionheart paint schemes. And Layla, if you've got your trading paints turned on, in row number 5, am I seeing double, or I should say, am I seeing 2 James Hunt race cars?
That's not what I'm seeing, but that doesn't mean that's not what's there.
Because I'm looking at it. It looks like 2 Heskeths. I've been known to be wrong before, but that's what it appears to be as the field starts to roll off.
Yeah, I'm getting trading paints up right now, so
Okay, cool.
fingers crossed on that one.
But yes, it does look like two Hesketh paint schemes there. Yes, those are two Hesketh paint schemes. So, and Hoop Baker.
I'm alive again. There we go.
Okay, and Hoop Baker, I noticed is running my the paint scheme I sent him, which is the Al Unser Jr. Indy winning Gallus paint scheme.
Nice.
The Valvoline, yeah.
This is a
Molson.
really cool event because of I can see everybody in the league's really getting into it, and I really like that about this league, how enthusiastic everyone is.
Wait till you see what we're making you run on Sunday.
Green flag.
Well, if I'm home, I would be happy to run it.
Hopefully you will be home as the green flag drops as we're waiting for everything to get sorted out here. Gary Bauer, Mike Erder jumping out to an early lead. Isaiah Dupree currently holding down the number 3 spot. Whitaker, Graff, Parkman, Osmer, Vickery, Anderson, and Dean rounding out your top 10 as... Wow, knock wood. They made a lap and didn't... nobody died. So that's a plus in itself.
And we're about single file down to 5th place. There's still a little action going on back in that direction.
Well, that's Parkman in the STP car trying to make some moves already on Tyler Graff.
Now, Parkman's known, he'll get up there, you know, and he'll get in your face, he'll get in your head, and he'll get around you early in the race, late in the race, and we can see he's beginning early today.
Well, there's a reason why Chris Parkman is the winningest single driver in Indy Speedway League history.
Yeah, he does not take prisoners, as we got a battle for the lead.
That is Mike Erder trying to get to the inside of his teammate Gary Bauer. Bauer knows he's there, lets him go. They are in the same TeamSpeak channel, so Erder probably just let him know. As Isaiah Dupree blinking badly.
Yeah, that's not usual for Isaiah. I will say on the subject of Mike, I have raced him in sprint cars, I've raced him in road course stuff, I've pretty much in everything, and he's very solid in any car you get him in. And that kind of experience will pay off when you go to the smaller tracks like this. A lot of these guys are used to things like your Texases, your Kansases. You come to Milwaukee, it takes a bit of a different skill set.
True story.
Oh, you're getting close for second.
It's Bauer and Dupree in the twin Penske cars.
I think Bauer's taking it easy. You know, we're on lap 6. Probably not the best time to really fight back if somebody gets a line on you.
Yeah, and that's something that Gary's been working on because he's from the old school that, you know, he just wants to go all the time. And he's been trying to relax it because Gary's one of those drivers that it's either bring me the trophy or bring me the steering wheel. And he's been trying to relax a little bit, knowing that, as the old saying goes, in order to finish first you must finish.
A little bit further back from that, I see Mike Whitaker's getting some pressure now. That is from Ronnie Osmer. That's for the 5th position.
Oh, that speed cam down the back straightaway is just...
Isn't that great?
En fuego.
Alright, remind me on next caution to set this to voice activation, because part of the reason I'm having more difficulty keeping track of who's where is because I can't use the push-to-talk button and use my camera control, so that'll make things...
Actually, if you want to go ahead and do that now, I can hold down the fort as we're watching Osmer and Whitaker still going at it, Graff directly in front of them. And Mike Erder just continuing to click off laps. We're working lap 10 of 195. Dupree holding down second place with the twin carb Gary Bauer right behind him. And I believe that's... It's weird to see Whitaker in a green car. As Parkman looking to the inside of Osmer right now. And that's your battle for 6. Parkman to the way low side. Osmer up high still, just letting him go. And there we go.
Alrighty, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, back to old school here. Let's take a look.
We've got Parkman now setting his sights on Whitaker.
And he's definitely not waiting around. Kind of the polar opposite of what we were talking about with Gary Bauer, where he's kind of taking it easy. Parkman's really on the loud pedal right now, and you can see he's really using that draft to his advantage. And on a track like this, where momentum matters so much, draft is a huge deal. Really good thing to have.
Draft is a huge deal, but the thing is, and the thing to remember is, this car has a lot of aero push dialed into it.
Yes, it does.
It's David Llewellyn making a move right now, getting past Tyler Vickery.
And that is for 9th, I believe?
8th.
8th, gotcha.
Vickery back to 9th. We're still watching this battle for 5th, with Whitaker having it, Parkman wanting it, and Osmer within striking distance as well. The field's starting to really get strung out right now.
You know, Ronnie's another one of those drivers, kind of in the same Parkman camp there of, hey, you know, I showed up to race, I'm not here to wait around. So it's pretty interesting to actually see the two of them going at it.
It is, and it's hard to... It's kind of hard to keep in mind sometimes that Ronnie Osmer is only 17 years old currently.
Well, he drives like he's about twice that. He's definitely got a lot of talent.
There's a lot of racecraft in that young man. As David Llewellyn goes to the inside right now of Osmer. Osmer running that second line up, trying to keep it wound up on the high side. And Llewellyn gets a better drive off the corner. That's going to move Osmer to 8th, Llewellyn up to 7th.
Ooh, Llewellyn got wide there off two. Almost touched the wall. I don't know if he did, but he got real close.
Another coat of paint, I think he would have been in deep trouble.
Well, right now he is definitely under attack from Osmer. He looked like he had him wrapped up for a moment, but after coming off turn 2 there, it's been... Ooh, wow. And Osmer looks like he caught the inside there, and then Llewellyn almost catches the wall. These guys are using up the entire racetrack.
Well, they're not holding back. That's for dang sure. We're working lap 18, lap 19 this time across the stripe. Mike Erder continuing to show the way. Isaiah Dupree in a comfortable second place.
Yellow.
And that
Looking for the accident.
looks like Hoot Baker. Let's see what happened to Hoot.
This was really going well until that.
Looks like Hoot may have just caught the outside wall there as we're watching him. There he comes into 1, out of 2, just the car stopped turning.
And this is something we were talking about before the broadcast. The car is definitely tighter here than a lot of these guys might be used to. This is a smaller track, too, which doesn't help with that. You really have to get up on the wheel here, and sometimes if you're more used to those big tracks, the wall can sneak up on you on corner exit.
Well, for what it's worth, though, Hoot definitely did the right thing. Is as soon as he realized that the car was going to not make the corner, he held it into the wall to keep it from coming back down the track in case anybody was coming up behind him.
That is a kindness not oft seen. You'll usually see, especially in public races, people sling the car back down the track here as we get ready for pit stops. Look like almost everybody's coming in. There's one driver out on the track, and that is Mike Whitaker wanting to get bonus points for leading a lap, I'd imagine.
True story, as we're 21 laps into the event, and I'm thinking that with only a half boat of fuel, we're not that far off of being in trouble, and it looks like Johnny Antonucci. Well. Yeah, Antonucci stayed out as well. Erder winning the battle off pit road. Bauer, Dupree, Graff, Osmer, Parkman, Vickery, and Llewellyn rounding out your top 10.
Did Tony Rice pit? Because he came out 3rd. I think he might be the lucky dog because he just went around.
He is the lucky dog.
All right. Because I was like, man, he must have had one of the best pit stops I've ever seen if he came out of there that quick.
No, he is the lucky dog, so he's going to go to the tail end of the lead lap. 24 of 25 cars who took the green still on the lead lap. Hoot Baker having to tow And unfortunately, it is a long tow around this place.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's one of those things where I'm not sure they programmed it properly because the tow here is deceptively long. As those two cars who stayed out going to the pits, that's going to cycle the lead back to Mike Erder.
So the Iceman cometh, and the Iceman leadeth the way. So, again, Team Booze Brothers running 1-2 yet again, with Erder and Bauer having some just amazing stops right there. Bauer actually having...
Off pit road, by the way.
I was going to say, Bauer having the second best stop with a 23.9 from commitment cone to exit cone. The stop of the segment goes to Ronnie Osmer with a 23.6 and a 5.9 in the box. So there goes that. Looks like we are going to be 2 to go this time across the stripe.
10-4.
As Erder continues to show the way. And again, want to take...
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to take this moment to remind everybody that you are watching a presentation of the RobertsTechJobs.com Indy Speedway League. The RobertsTechJobs.com, proud sponsor of the Indy Speedway League, is your Midwest leader in temp to hire and contract positions in the IT field for IT professionals. So if you are an IT professional in the Midwest, or if you're looking to relocate, go to RobertsTechJobs.com. Be sure to let Bill know that the ISL sent you. And it looks like we are 1 to go, as the lights are out on the pace car.
I was going to very quickly say the weather, very cool. It is late in the day. Track temperature is 73 degrees, so not quite as high as you'd expect. That might be part of the reason these cars aren't getting very loose.
True story. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex pace car, getting ready to make that hard left turn.
It makes a wide swing here, doesn't it?
I've noticed that too.
Green flag.
However,
as soon as it cleared the track.
Oh, I was going to say, however, it's unlike at Pocono where the pace car's still on the track. At least here it clears the track before the green comes out.
Yeah. The second it did, boy, people were getting on the loud pedals. We're 3 wide on the backstretch. We got one car falling way back. That was Tyler Graff, just a very bad start for him.
And they are starting to get a little bit chippy from 5th place on back right now, as Llewellyn and Osmer slugging it out yet again. It's Parkman in front of them. He got a great jump there right on the transmission tunnel of Isaiah Dupree. So Parkman's still trying to make some headway. He's got Dupree, Bauer, and Erder in front of him before he's going to be able to say, hey, I led a lap at the Milwaukee Mile. And right now, Erder continuing to lead laps, as he's starting to put a little bit of a gap on his teammate Gary Bauer.
My hope is, after that first long green run, that we get another one of those here, because you were really starting to see different strategies play out. You were seeing who was saving their tires and who wasn't. And, you know, if this continues going this way, we're going to be able to see some green flag pit stops as well, which has caused some very interesting finishes in the past in this league, if I do say so.
Well, I'm thinking that there's going to be a couple of first you say it, then you do it kind of moments should we get green flag stops. Because there is no apron to use in turns 3 and 4. And if you'll notice, most of these guys are running right down on, half a tire off the rumble strips.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got somebody that's diving for the pits, and if you don't hear the car in front of you saying, hey, I'm pitting this next lap, they're going to get run over.
And the other thing to look at with that, too, is pit exits. It is so easy to spin the car out here on that flat, dusty area down there below the rumble strip in 1. You can turn it around. You don't have to even be in first gear. You can turn around in 3rd or 4th gear if you're not careful.
Well, the other question is, how many drivers are going to get popped for
speeding?
No, I was going to say for going above the yellow.
Safe, yeah. And that is very, very common at this track.
Because you can see it in the stream right there that you have the yellow stripe, you have to stay below that until you exit turn 2, and then you, like we were talking about in the pre-race, you have about a car length and a half before you're driving into the grass. So
yeah, I mean, you have to jerk the car up there, and if they're coming up behind you, say you come out just in front of the field, they're 3 wide. Good luck. As second place and third place have just collided, we've got a wing off, and that is Isaiah Dupree missing his front wing.
And he is dropping like a stone.
Yeah, you really don't want to lose that front downforce here. He's probably going to have to pit.
Unfortunately, can't make it there, so he's going to have to do it the next lap, but he's going to stay high and let everybody go around him. As we're focusing on Dupree right now just to try to see what's going to happen when he gets back around to pit road.
Well, he hasn't called his pit yet, and he's going to have to do that really soon if he wants to be able to make it in. He may be trying to stay out.
Nope, here he comes.
He did call it, but he called it a little late, so he might get popped for that. We'll keep an eye on that for you.
Well, that's how pit in works, and he is going to lose a lap here, as we're going to stay focused so we can watch. Actually,
take a look at the back of Gary's car as well. The wing is all chewed up from that, and it didn't look like it was going to be too bad of an incident until they came together, when the speed difference really made itself clear. Gary's holding on all right, but he's fallen quite a bit off of Mike, and a lot of that might have come from him getting loose like that, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it up with his wing that torn up. As
Isaiah keeps it, that's a safe pit exit, is now we're going to be focusing on Gary Bauer, and you were right. That left side upright is just tweaked. As a matter of fact, it's not even an upright anymore. It's a 45. Good grief. But Gary's under challenge right now from Ronnie Osmer, who's got a clean car still. So I'm thinking.
Gary almost tagged the wall too, going into 1.
Yes, but I'm thinking it's only a matter of time before Osmer gets by Bauer. And I don't know if Bauer knows just how bad that rear upright is. He's got his teammate David Llewellyn behind him now, and I'm sure in TeamSpeak, Llewellyn's probably telling him, hey, your wing's screwed.
What's interesting is the car looks to be handling. It just doesn't look like he quite has the top speed. At least that's kind of my read on it.
And that's probably the case, because when you figure that you're changing the aero package of that car, it's almost like sticking your arm out the window at 70 miles an hour. And around goes, who the hell is that? Tristan Anderson. Anderson getting involved. Looks like Paskowicz got involved in that one.
Oh, boy.
So let's go to the replay on that. Paskowicz just catches a race car to the face.
The beginning of it, I'm watching Tristan here. He catches the rumble strips, and those things are deceptively ungrippy. You have your rear tire spinning over this paint with less grip. That means that your left rear is going to be spinning a little faster than the right rear, and then whoop, off to the races.
And as we're watching him go through the corner now, there he catches the rumble strip, and yeah, they just along for the ride, and bang. Paskowicz kind of has nowhere to go because he doesn't see it until corner exit. So
yeah, and this is it's a flat track. You can't look around the turn as well as you might be able to on a bank track. And I know that sounds really weird, but if you're sitting on an angle, you can see a little bit further through the corner at least.
Yeah,
that's my feeling on it. And it's a narrow track. Sun's over on that side too, and plus, you're going like 130 miles an hour. You're very tight. You can't really move around a lot on the track as much as you can on the bigger, more bank tracks. You really have to commit to something here. So just a lot of factors adding up into why that was a 2-car incident instead of a 1-car incident.
So Cody Eldred, Ron McManus, and Nate Dean staying out. Ronnie Osmer winning the battle off pit road that time. 6.9 second in the box. Second best, actually third best stop, as Tyler Graff goes 6.4. Brendan Graham goes 6.3 in the box. Yeah, that's hitting your marks perfect when you can go 6.3. So
here comes a few more drivers down pit road. I imagine those were the ones who stayed out to try and lead a lap. All right, so that's some bonus points for Cody Eldred then. He was the first of them.
And that's going to hand the lead of the race over to Ronnie Osmer.
He's been working his way up there in front, inch by inch, little by little. He hasn't been quite as aggressive as I'm used to seeing him, but it did pay off in the end. He's all the way up there in the lead now. When I was keeping an eye on Chris Parkman earlier, I expected we'd see him up there, within the top 3. Right now he's sitting.
And you are roboting very much badly right now.
So actually, it's probably more like 5th or 6th. Birthday bash, anyway.
Well, I'm thinking that the reason you're seeing Osmer being so reserved tonight is he finally got the monkey off his back last night in the Tin Tops.
That'll do the trick.
He actually won the RTFT Pro Series race last night, so that's the monkey off his back. He's kind of in a good mood tonight, so not trying to really over push it. Knows that he doesn't have to drive with his head up his keister to make things happen. Just letting the race come to him. He knows that he's got a decent race car. And it looks like the lights are out on the pace cars. The field's starting to form up 2 by 2. It's Osmer,
winning
Erder.
A race is a confidence builder, too.
Very much so. So as the lights go out on the pace car, we've got Osmer, Erder, Llewellyn, Graf, Bauer, Parkman, Graham, Vickery, Paskowicz able to stay in the top 10, and his new teammate Alex Green joining him in the top 10. So going to be interesting to see.
Chat.
Well, Layla, I thank you for joining us. I'm not going to keep you from the birthday celebration in the other league.
Green flag.
Ronnie actually held him down a little bit that time. Now, to me, it looked like the second row was so far back that they were actually...
And caution out again.
Or I should say, the outside row was back as far as the second. And that's 4 sparks around there. I would imagine he caught the rumble. I'm taking a look. And it just came around on him. Cold tires?
I'm thinking cold tires.
It's really easy to forget how unhappy these cars can get on cold tires when you've had a long green flag run.
True story.
Alright, I'm going to go do the birthday thing then, since we had a spin, but hopefully we're looking at a lot of green flag runs here. We've had some really good long-distance green flag runs so far, so fingers crossed on that one.
Well, Layla, check back in when you're done with your birthday race, and if we're still here, you're welcome to join me in the booth for the finish of this, because I'm thinking, since we're only 45 laps into it, we're probably still going to be at it when your birthday race is done.
10-4. Alrighty, I'll ping you on Skype when all the festivities are over and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll see you then.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Layla, and we'll see you later.
Yep.
User disconnected from your channel.
So, 4 sparks bringing out the third caution, and for some odd reason, I seem to be having some lag issues, and I think I know why. Yep. Bear with me a moment, folks, because this is going to get interesting. Not sure why that's doing that, but we're going to find out why it's doing that. Okay, it's the Iracing simulator that's doing that. I don't know why, and I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I do ask that you please bear with me a moment here while we try to get things sorted out here. I just lost all camera controls. I just lost timing and scoring. Oh, the joys of everything going sideways. Great. And I'm still trying to figure out why Iracing is being so temperamental tonight. So, Ronnie Osmer continuing to show the way as we're getting ready to go back to green flag action within the next lap. Everything seems to be working slightly better now. So, Osmer, Llewellyn, Bauer, Erder, Graf, Parkman, Vickery, Graham, Paskowicz, and Green. Still your top 10. As we are working lap 48 of 195, going to be going back to green on lap 49. So still quite a ways to go. As pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn, and
green flag, green flag.
Ronnie Osmer pulling the trigger as soon as the pace car twitches. David Llewellyn getting a decent jump. Mike Erder and Gary Bauer going with him. So having to deal with 3 teammates directly behind him. And Parkman has the 3 teammates from Team Booze Brother directly in front of him. As they go 3 wide for third, we got a pass for the lead coming up here. Llewellyn to the inside. Osmer giving him plenty of room, knowing that it's still way early in this race. Letting Llewellyn have that low line burn on his tires. Doesn't get quite the drive as here comes Bauer now to the inside. Unfortunately, that second line has not been worked in yet. Parkman using part of the apron to try to get going here. And it looks like Osmer going to slot in between Bauer and Erder. Llewellyn showing the way. Brendan Graham up to 7th. As it's like Erder trying the high line now on Osmer. Osmer giving plenty of room, and Erder getting a push from, I believe that's Chris Parkman in the Andy Granatelli paint scheme. Llewellyn continuing to show the way. Bauer holding down a strong second place. Erder holding a strong third. And the battle right now is for 4th. And there it is. Who was that? Come on. Where are you? Chris Bouchard pointing the wrong way on a one-way street. Let's see what took place here. Just loops it in the middle of 3 and 4 and backs it into the safer barriers. Let's back it up a little bit and see if he had any help. There you see him flash by there. Goes into turn 3 and just overcooks it. So Bouchard gonna Try to limp that back to pit road. Field catching the pace car. Looks like Osmer. So Llewellyn, Bauer, Erder, and Parkman all staying out. Bob Lacavara staying out. Whitaker staying out. Tony Rice staying out. And Forrest Sparks staying out. Everybody else going down pit road. And I am going to just put this out there that we still have a ton of racing left to do. We are currently an hour into the broadcast, roughly an hour into the broadcast, and we're not even to the halfway point yet. So, something to keep in mind. Because I do need to be in early for work in the morning, so I do want to apologize to everyone should this broadcast end abruptly. As, we are 139 laps to go. I'm going to say that again. 139 laps to go. Currently working caution number 5, I believe. Llewellyn, Bauer, Erder, Parkman, Lacavara, Whitaker, Rice, Sparks, Osmer, Graham. Your top 10. I believe the lights are going out on the pace car now. Don't quote me on that. Field starting to form up 2 by 2. David Llewellyn continuing to show the way. Teammate Gary Bauer going to be starting outside of him. Mike Erder and Chris Parkman in row number 2. So 3 of the top 4 positions held down by Team Booz Brothers. It's pace car getting ready to duck on off. And let's see.
Green, green, green.
There we go. Llewellyn, Bauer, and Erder all going together in the same TeamSpeak chat. Parkman staying with him on the high side, though.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And that didn't take long. Let's see who that was. Let's back that up. Not sure who that was. Paskowicz. See Paskowicz in the purple car there. They go 3 wide. Gets into the marbles, and around she goes. Well then. Hoot Baker, by able to staying out of the dumpster fire, that's going to put Hoot Baker back on the lead lap. So now all 25 cars that started the event are going to be back on the lead lap. Tony Trapasso up in the broadcast booth with you. I was joined earlier by Miss Layla Wilson, who had to get to the RKRS Roadkill Racing Series Tuesday night series that they host, and they're doing a special birthday celebration for Layla, who I believe is now turning 30. So, because I know I've got her by 10 years. So, Paskowicz coming down pit road. Bill Roberts on pit lane. Looks like those are the only 2 takers we're seeing. Yes. So Parkman 20 laps into his stint, Whitaker 19 into his, Bob Lacavara 20 laps in, Forrest Sparks 15 in, Tony Rice 15 in. Everybody else on the field 5 laps or less on their current fuel stint. As we're watching Pascovich come out of the pits there. And there goes Hoop Baker taking his wave around. And I don't think I'm live. Apparently I am live. So. I spoke to league management before the event, and when they asked how long should we make this thing, and I said 150 laps at most. Well, no, we do 200 at the milers. So, yeah, the only other mile track that we run at, or have run at on a regular basis, is Darlington, or I'm sorry, Dover, and that's a high bank. So if you folks will excuse me, I'm going to have a few pickles as my legs are starting to cramp up, being as we're having the weather thing go through right now. And for those of you who remember me saying I had some trouble with my legs, I need to eat some pickles. As the light goes on the pace car, Parkman now in control of the field. Parkman, Whitaker, Lacavara, Sparks, Osmer, Rice, Vickery, Graham, Green, and Eldred, your top 10. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex. And look for Parkman to pull the trigger as soon as that pace car twitches. There it goes, and there he goes. And Whitaker mildly asleep at the switch. Teammate goes with him as Parkman disappeared. I don't know what just happened to Chris Parkman, but it looks like he got disconnected. As Mike Whitaker now in control of the field. As they are going to get ready to go 3 wide behind him. It's Lacavara, Osmer, and Sparks. As Sparks tags the wall coming out of 2. Whitaker a half second to the good over Bob Lacavara. Brendan Graham getting around Forrest Sparks for the number 4 spot. As we watch Osmer go to the inside of Lacavara for second. Lacavara just gives him plenty of room, knowing that there's still plenty of racing left. The question is, how much more fuel does Whitaker have in the tank? I mean, I know we just had a ton of caution laps, but how far can it go? Whitaker continuing to show the way, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is very strange to see Mike Whitaker driving a green race car. Whitaker, Osmer, Graham, Lacavara, Vickery, Sparks, Rice, Green, Anderson, and Johnny Antonucci into the top 10. Uh, as Whitaker continuing to show the way, Ronnie Osmer holding down the number 2 spot. And who is that? Nate Dean out of fuel. As Whitaker clicks off another lap, Osmer still in second. And I'm receiving word that there may have been an oops on a race control's part. We'll discuss that post race. Let's see who the yellow flag is for. Tony Rice pointing the wrong way on a one-way street. Let's see what happened there. A little bit of contact going into the corner. We'll chalk that up to a racing incident from the looks of it. Let's go to a... let's see what the chopper saw. So this is going through the 1-2 complex. You see Alex Green go to his inside. And... huh. We are going to go to the chase cam on Green there. Green crosses him over coming off of 2. And unfortunately, Tony just turned down into Alex. So... looks like Gary Bauer in control of the field as Whitaker has to take it pit side. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I've been holding that one in for a while now. And I'm waiting patiently to see if... we're going to check and see if all hell is breaking loose where I think it is right now. If I can say... because I'm going to go out on a limb and say that all hell is about to break loose in the Facebook chat. Yep. Here we go. Oh boy. Highly not cool. So Parkman disappeared. There was an accident. I don't know what took place, but apparently Jason Coburn accidentally clicked to remove Parkman from the server, and I don't know why. It was an oops. I don't know what caused the oops, but that's what's going on. As the lights go out on the pace car, Gary Bauer, Mike Erder, Kevin Pasquich, Ronnie Osmer, Bill Roberts, Mike Whitaker, Hoot Baker, Tyler Vickery, Brendan Graham, and Tristan Anderson, your top 10. as the field's working its way down the back straightaway. Remind you are watching a presentation of the RobertsTechJobs.com Indy Speedway League. RobertsTechJobs.com, your Midwest leader in temps to hire and contract positions in the IT field for IT professionals. So if you are an IT professional in the Midwest, or if you're looking to relocate, go to RobertsTechJobs.com and be sure to let Bill know that the ISL sent you. As pace car getting ready to duck on in, Gary Bauer going to be in control of the field. Here we go again, folks.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And that didn't take long. Tyler Vickery eating the wall. Let's see what took place there. As we're going to back that up there. Looks like they're 3 wide. Vickery just gets into the marbles on cold tires, and around she goes. Well then. That brings out another caution. Let's see what that means for everything right now. That is our 7th caution. Still not quite halfway. Yeah, we're still 116 laps to go. And my sanity is wearing thin, folks. So it looks like Hoop Baker caught a piece of that one as you see the Valvoline Molson car coming into the pits. So I'm just, I love this track. I love this car. I love driving this car at this track. It's just nobody is showing any patience. And I don't think I can take much more of this. It's not a slight against anyone in particular. It's just, you know, we're already at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and we're not even to the halfway point yet. We have officially been racing for over an hour. More like we've been pacing for over an hour. And I'm not a fan of this. This is turning into another Pocono. And for those of you who are with us for both Pocono broadcasts, the term dumpster fire comes to mind. Again, I love this track. Don't get it wrong. I absolutely love the Milwaukee Mile. I love racing every car in iRacing at this track. It's just frustrating right now from an announcer standpoint that no one seems to be showing any patience. And I'm going to, quote a man I would consider my mentor in this league, Mr. Terry Adams, in a post that he put up earlier in Facebook. And I'm going to paraphrase, but he was talking about how we went from being able to run side by side for multiple laps and having multiple fuel mileage races last season to no one having a clean race. Now, granted, that all changed at Michigan, where we had a handful of drivers that did have clean races, but it was only a handful. You could count the drivers, I believe, on one hand that had a clean race at either of the two Michigan races. And it gets frustrating from an announcer standpoint when it stops being fun for me when I have to use the phrase "and we're back under caution." And I know I'm sound like I'm up on a soapbox right now, but it is what it is. So back to the task at hand, though. Gary Bauer, Mike Erder, Brendan Graham, Kevin Pasquich, Ronnie Osborne, Mike Whitaker, Cody Eldred, Alex Green, Johnny Antonucci, and Bob Lacavara fighting with Tristan Anderson for the 10th right now. As Erder gets into Pasquich. And, yeah.
Yellow flag is out.
Well then. We're going to go to the chase cam and see what took place there. See Pasquich jumping to the inside of Erder. And now we go back and watch it from KP's point of view. Watch the lines on the track. Well, you guys be the judge of that one, because I give a damn bust about 12 laps ago. So, that's going to hand the lead of the race over to Ronnie Osmer. Tyler Graff up to second. Alex Green up to third now. Bob Lacavara, Isaiah Dupree, Tristan Anderson, Chris Bouchard, Ron McManus. Hoot Baker back into the top 10 after going a handful of laps down early. So good to see Hoot up into the top 10, just biding his time and minding his P's and Q's. And a name that we haven't seen in quite a while, Zach Zabisky. As lights go out on the pace car again. We're getting ready to turn them back loose here. As still not quite to the halfway point. 89 laps of working lap 89 of 195. Still 107 laps to go. As we are under caution number, I believe, 9. And look for Ronnie Osmer to go as soon as that pace car starts to twitch.
Green flag, green flag.
Osmer holds him down a little bit. Green with a little bit of arrow push as he goes by Tyler
Yellow,
Graff,
yellow, yellow.
and there it goes. As Isaiah Dupree gets run over going into turn number 3. So it was Ron McManus getting turned. And then getting clobbered. Mick Woods not sure what was going on there, but handful of cars towing right now. And then Isaiah Dupree gets just flat run over. Well, let's watch and see what happened to Dupree here. Just Bob Lacavara just hammers Dupree. So, yeah, I'm not gonna. We're still over 100 laps to go, and yeah, I just. Ladies and gentlemen, I personally want to apologize to anyone that's watching this stream. I was excited when Milwaukee got put on the schedule. I love this track. I love this car. I love this car on this track. Actually, I love every car on this track. As a matter of fact, I think every series in iRacing officially should have a Milwaukee Mile week. Because every car that I've ever driven has been fun here at Milwaukee Mile. It's just frustrating from an announcer standpoint when all these drivers that I'm watching right now are showing no patience whatsoever. And I'm wondering why the 5 is still in its spot when it punted what... I don't know.
Green, green, green.
Pace car's in. The 2 cars that caused the cautions didn't get EOLs. And we're getting ready to go to another caution. Again,
Yellow flag is out.
there it is. So, yeah. Yeah. That's, yeah. I really don't want to stick around and watch the record for most caution periods in a single event happen. I really don't. Again, we're just under 100 laps to go. Matter of fact, we are officially on the back straightaway at the halfway point. We are now at the halfway point. And we are an hour and 15. We're an hour and 10 minutes into no, I'm sorry. We're an hour left in the session. We have 1 hour left in the session, and we've just reached the halfway point. Yeah. I'm at a loss right now, folks, and I do apologize to anyone that is watching the stream. You know, the fact that I don't even know where to begin to try to explain the level of frustration that I'm feeling. So I'm at a loss right now. And if that's what is going to be considered a lineup, there's going to be a caution before we exit turn 2. As they're 3 wide going through turn 3. Somebody's about to get run over.
Green, green, green.
So Osmer getting a great jump. Alex Green going with him. Tyler Graff going with him. Chris Bouchard going with him. Approximately 25 laps on all 4 of those guys' current stints. So look for them to go pit side relatively soon. as Alex Green gets up into the rough stuff. Chris Bouchard on a move right now. Hey, how about that? We got a lap in, finally, for the first time in about 50 laps. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. And I want to personally apologize to the series sponsor for my flippant attitude right now. Because I'm just, it's a level of frustration that I don't think I've ever seen before, and I unfortunately can no longer hide. So, just going to say this right now. The next caution that comes out will be the final caution of this broadcast, as I will be going to bed shortly here. If this stays green the rest of the way, we're golden. If it doesn't, so be it. But Ronnie Osmer showing the way. Tyler Graff currently sitting in second. Chris Bouchard currently sitting in third, looking to get his second win on the season. Ronnie Osmer looking to get his second win of the week, having won last night in the RTFT All-Star Xfinity cars from Kansas. And you got to wonder how much is left in the tank for Osmer, Graff, Bouchard. All three of them are north of 30 laps on this tank. Gary Bauer with the freshest tires in the top 5 right now.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And there it is. Oh, let's see what happened. Looks like Baker had some help. Not sure who that was. Let's go to the chase cam on that one. Johnny Antonucci. So, yeah. So if you folks will excuse me for a second, I'm going to go talk to the drivers.
Have enough room. Apparently I touched the tire barrier.
And for
Do I have any damage at all?
hang on, give me like a minute here.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
All right, 10-4. It just did a loud bang, and it popped up saying I had made. Shut up. It was a 0x.
2 to green.
No damage.
All right, 10-4. I was just curious.
Are the pit boxes fucking anybody else up?
So we're just going to sit back and just enjoy the sights and sounds. And yeah, we'll just you know, do the thing with the stuff.
Green flag, green flag.
So yeah.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Green flag, green flag. Yellow flag is out. Green flag, green flag. Yellow flag is out. Green flag, green flag. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Green flag, green flag. Yellow flag is out. Green flag, green flag. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Green, green, green. flag is out. Green flag, green flag. Yellow flag is out. Green flag, green flag. Yellow flag is out.